Hello, and welcome to the July edition of the SIG Docs Localization Subproject meeting. Um, uh, for this agenda, we don't have any new folks here, but just as a reminder to people who are here that we're following the CNCF Code of Conduct. And let me share a link for our agenda in the chat. People can find it. Yeah, we can get kicked off and get started. Sorry. The first item here, let me share my screen. Haven't shared in a while. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So a running agenda item that we have had for the past few meetings is trying to get some more folks into the German and the Vietnamese localization. Silke, I'm not sure if you've interacted with anyone since the last meeting or if there's any specific updates that you know about from talking to folks. I'm just not sure. No one here is no one has joined the meeting from those teams, so I'm not sure if there's an update we have to give.
Yeah, they have some activities so far within the Slack channel as well as the GitHub issues and PRs. But I think they are hard to set some time to arrival. So since they feel hard to set up a target date for rebuilding the team members. So I think why don't we wait for them?
Okay.
They have anyway they have some activities, and reason I left this item here is just to see whether German localization team or Vietnamese localization member join this meeting and share the current status of their activity, building activity.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe we can check in with them the next meeting if they have more time. It's definitely a hard topic to cover and kind of get started because it is a big time investment to try to get more folks into the community. The next item here is about a localization management tracker tool from the Japanese localization, which looks pretty cool. I can bring it up here. And it shows, I haven't taken too close of a look at this, but is this supposed to show things that haven't across all the localizations, what hasn't been updated?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is based on the time difference between the original document changed date and the localized document changed date. So basically, this tool can cover all the show the differences, time differences between the changed date,
Mm-hmm.
and it is one of web visualized version. And I actually made similar tool before
Mm-hmm.
in CLI version, as you remember.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, in my perspective, it is web version. But anyway, I think it is very helpful contribution from Japanese team, the Japanese localization team. And from the some Slack thread, the
Mm-hmm.
contributor and Japanese teams, and they are mentioning about uh, willingness to contribute this tool to SIGDocs or Kubernetes community. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we would better to discuss about uh, how to make this kind of tool can be contributed, donated to Kubernetes community. Also, since I already opened a PR similar to contribute similar to with before, then that one. I couldn't finish this PR. I made a tool for tracking those differences based on the last node difference. And reason I contributed this kind of tool is that if we host a tool like web-based tool, we need some kind of hosting. So that's the reason why I made just a simple Python tool so that anyone can easily execute whenever they need. So we have this kind of two tools. So maybe other contributors would like to provide this kind of tool as well. So if we have those kind of contributions, I'm not sure how to handle. For this PR also, I thought it would be useful to localization teams, especially for Korean, but I felt it is hard to pass the review stage for this kind of tool because in Kubernetes website we have many reviewers, but we also have some technical reviewers, but they are not for actually the source code reviewers, technical document reviewers, right? So in that sense, I thought how to pass those review process for this kind of tool as well as the tool suggested from Japanese contributor as well. So that's the reason why I couldn't finish this PR. In my mind, I thought I would like to just leave as it is and close this PR.
Well, I think the tools are definitely valuable, but I do agree with what you were saying. Having it as a script is a lot easier to manage because you don't have to have it hosted. I mean, it's more visually, it's nice. The tracker is very nice, but it's harder to have it all. It needs to have a lot of more moving parts to have it be available for folks. So for this PR, you said that it was just hard to get through like the tech review for the actual script. And getting somebody from SigDocs reviewers and technical reviewers to approve it. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I guess. Also, I got some questions from some reviewers that this tool is also similar with existing tools. We have
Okay.
several Python and script tools,
Okay.
and maybe they have some differences. Anyway, we don't have any strict rule to add this kind of tool for specific for some for a team, localization team. So we don't have that kind of policy. Maybe we can set up a policy. We accept some tools have for only for one localization team. It can be also acceptable or not, or we can accept some tools useful globally for all localization team. I'm not sure. Yeah, we already have some tools. For Korean localization team, we already have one tool. and this one is current PR is also the second one. It might useful for Korean localization team, also for other localization teams as well. But this tool itself is very similar with the tool suggested from Japanese localization contributor, but different style. We would better to discuss how to handle this kind of tools.
Yeah, I think that is probably a broader like a conversation to have within SIG docs, which I know we've talked about this tool before because this PR is from a while ago, so I'm sure we brought it up before about how to get it added in. So I think I'm not for adding in the script, I think that that's one thing, but adding in like a whole other web-based tracker thing is like a whole other um related conversation, but probably a little more involved because there's more things for hosting involved and maintenance and everything down the line. Um so you said the Korean team has a uses the script that you have or something similar already. Um or is it
Yeah, Korean localization team has a tool, but
Mhm,
we try to change uh, a way to update outdated Korean localization documents. Uh, we have used this branch-based approach.
mhm,
So we check the uh, differences from the two branches, previous one and recent one, and then we try to update all the new update from English side, applying to the Korean localized document side. And we have uh, reporting tool to checking which should be updated, which document should be updated. It is very historic old
mhm.
uh, script, but we try to change way to updating outdated document. We guess the tool I suggested in that PR will
Mhm.
be the next version for our update, and maybe the contribution from Japanese localization teams to also feasible one. Any tool is okay for us, I guess.
Mhm.
But in case of the tool, web-based tool, if the tool uh, if we wanted to make that tool useful for SIGDocs and SIGDocs localization teams, uh, maybe that uh, web server can be easily uh, executed by a contributor, by each contributor, not
Mhm.
hosting someone hosting that website. And for that tool, it is one point. And I'm not sure about donating this kind of tool and repository itself to uh, to Kubernetes community. I'm not sure, and
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know
not
the
sure.
rules on that. That'd be
Yeah,
something to bring to the SIGDocs team. Because I'm not
yeah,
sure what the policies are around donating repos. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think donation is very nice thing, but I'm not sure this tool uh, is enough for a new to be a new kind of project,
Hmm.
sub project or project. I think it is very simple tool. So maybe if we can simplify the tool, like very simple Python script, then we might include the tool in our repository, Kubernetes website, and it will be very simple donation contribution process if we can make to test our Kubernetes website reviewer or SIG lead or general reviewers.
Yeah, I mean, I think having a tool like this is very useful because it helps either this tool specifically the website or the tool that you had also been working on. I think that they are useful and are being used by the teams to kind of track what changes have happened and what things need to be updated. And so I think it's a positive to try to get it included or of it like into the actual code base, having it merged, whatever. But I also think that we need to make sure that we're doing it by the policies of the community and that we have a way to kind of maintain it and to let people know that it's there. Um, I'm curious how useful, I guess you could just check, like you said, there's probably other ways to check this. So I'm curious how useful just the SIGDocs project will find the last updated date for
Yeah, this
some of these other pages, you know.
visualized tool actually can actually helpful for managing the overall localized content. Not maybe not for the each individual localization teams because they already I guess many teams have their own way to track the outdated content, even though we don't have enough contributors to update outdated content. I think it is not because of the lack of tools or way of tracking differences. I mean, outdated contents. The difficulties from the lack of pool, contributors pool in the localization domain. It's not the part. So even though we can check the current org status, how that team have lots of outdated content, and that team also have, but maybe we don't have enough member contributors keep updating those outdated contents, even though we can check. So as dashboard checking, for instance, SIG lead and we localization project lead can easily check the current status.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess in terms of next steps, it's still trying to figure out what the acceptance policy is for the community and SIGDocs for projects like these to be donated. And then what would be the recommended path for this type of solution, either like you said, just a script, or if um these types of contributions are allowed, is this something we want to take on? I guess are the questions for the SIGDocs group, right? Would that
Yeah.
be a fair next steps? Okay. Um, Let me add a note. Um, Dashboard versus- Okay. Um, okay, cool. The other, did you have anything else you wanted to chat about for this topic?
No, that's fine for me. And
Okay,
uh,
cool.
yeah, uh, I have one concern regarding the contributed tool, I mean shared tool from the Japanese localization contributor,
Mm-hmm.
is that the checking difference outdate the content is based on the last mode,
Mm-hmm.
and we already discussed about the false alert about the checking the last mode itself. Uh, Whenever English documents changed, the associated uh, localized document needed to be changed or not needed to be changed. For instance, in English, maybe some kind of verb can be changed, and in the perspective of localized document, that change does not need to be updated. We can decide. It depends on. But based on checking the outdated content based on the last modification date, uh, it will says the localized document uh, is outdated because English document changed, it is not changed, even though we don't have to change that,
Mm-hmm.
some part. Anyway, we have that kind of false alert if we use the last mode
Mm-hmm.
checking. And I guess the tool, web-based tool, might use that
The
method.
last one. Yeah.
And the script I developed also used that method, but uh, I tried uh, to see the lag of that uh, that method, the
Mhm.
defect of that method. The script was originally developed to see how it works if we use the last mode based tracking. Uh, what is the uh, misleading issues?
Yeah,
So
I remember that being a an issue with the message that was added onto pages that were outdated. And it
yeah,
flagged a lot of localization pages as outdated, even though they weren't really outdated.
yeah.
Content-wise,
So
like date-wise, they might have been, yeah.
that's right. So let me check what is the methodology of the tool, web-based tool.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually very similar with the script I suggested before, or uh, the contributor used some
Mm-hmm.
kind of different method where we contacted to the contributor regarding this matter.
Okay. Cool. I think that sounds good. I'll try to add this into the agenda, at least on the agenda item. Which I think takes place tomorrow. Um, and then the last two items are from folks who are not on the call.
Yeah,
Are these carryovers from previous meetings? Okay.
Yeah, I've added those items, and actually the first one is I grabbed some discussion item.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it is very well known issue in uh, localization update. Even for a single text in English document, if the localized document or document are related in that English changes, we need to currently we need to make individual PRs uh, for each localizations languages. Uh, so uh, Dimitri mentioned that it's not that ideal and it reduces some it makes some side effect. And Dimitri aware of current difficulty in localization. We have many localization teams, and from the English document, we have many localized versions, and each localization team using different methodology to update outdated content. The reason why we guide separate, making separate PRs for each localization language is that to reduce the kind of complexity. But I agree with some opinion from Dimitri regarding the uh, for very simple change in English document. Uh, I think we don't have to make individual PRs for each localized document, and we might include all changes in one PR for all English and localized documents. That changes are very simple, and but we need some consensus from all the localized teams, especially the team who are very actively updating um, their document. It is to reduce overhead maintaining and contributing to the document, not only for localized documents, but also English document. We will reduce many PRs. And recently we merged some PRs that uh, include multiple uh, localized owners should be included. So I think we can somehow manage this kind of uh, PR as well. So uh, this discussion is also quite uh, old discussion, and I think we need to somehow get some consensus regarding on this issue.
Yeah, I remember this has come up uh a few times. Um, and I think the problem is always getting people to agree on what the best thing for their teams are, exactly like what you're saying, because people have things set up very particularly, which is what they're able to do within the within their own team. So being this would be kind of a big shift for how we've done things previously to switching to so that people can create PRs um across the whole basically across every language. And I think it is super helpful, like for example, just being able to update like small things like this is for like changing port scopes and whatever. Um, but I think the other concern that I would have is just communication. So people not being aware that certain things have been updated or merged in without letting all the localizations teams know. Um, and in most cases, they'd be small things about the website. I guess it's also defining what types of PRs count as a minor fix and who would be the group to approve them. It's like, is it like you have to get approval from like a SIG docs person, or you have to get approval like, like a separate set of maintainers that are able to merge things across all languages. Because we don't have that permission set up right now, I don't think. But I do think it's worth raising because sometimes we've had issues getting each language team to contribute small updates, small important updates. And things are getting kind of missed on in localization languages. Um, yeah, I'm not sure the best the best path to get actual people to agree on one way of doing it. Maybe it's the best to sort of to create some sort of proposal of what we think it would look like. Um, and then sort of have a dedicated, like eventually get to a place that we'll have a meeting as a topic point, advertise that we're going to talk about it. And then if people um, are interested in the topic or whatever, and just do sort of a lazy consensus one way or the other. But I do think that this is something we'd have to make sure um, we get enough buy-in in some way before changing a policy on people, and then having kind of a strict guideline of what counts as a change that can be made across all the languages at one time. Um, I don't think
Sure.
I haven't read through this proposal in a while, so I'm not sure if Dimitri touches on this. He probably does. And I'm sure we've chatted about it before. Um, but that's just my thinking. Yeah.
So I also agree some point, and uh, the big blocking point is I think it is from Chinese localization team,
Mm-hmm.
and Chinese localization team are very active and many contributed for, and but they uh, have very strict rule in updating document whenever they want to update single change
Mm-hmm.
in localized document. They the contributor have to scan all the document and see uh, update the outdated content for all part, so that the contributor should be sure all contents are very up to date.
Mm-hmm. Have
So
you, did this used to be an issue and not just a discussion? I remember this being in a different form.
yeah,
I feel like
uh,
we
uh,
had
uh, I left the uh, comment in that discussion. Yeah, I mentioned it, some example for the Chinese localization team.
uh-huh.
So in the case, if we uh, put all the changes for all localization teams changes as well as English change in a PR,
Mm-hmm.
based on the Chinese localization team's policy, their localized Chinese document should be fully updated, not a single update.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why we are applying. I think I feel we are hard to apply the current suggestion,
Mm-hmm.
including all changes in one PR.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, very simple.
we
It
I
is
I
okay, but yeah.
I'm wondering if you've have you had a chance to talk to anyone in the Chinese localization about this particular proposal? I feel like I remember this being like an issue where they chimed in and sort of talked about their policy. Um, I don't remember exactly where that discussion was held or if I'm thinking
Uh,
something different, but I'm just wondering if they'd be okay if they see a path to doing this and having it be something that they would approve. Um, you know,
I don't
with their workflows.
I didn't make any suggestion to Chinese localization team because we don't have in the localization sub project itself we don't have a consensus yet.
Yeah.
But if we try to apply this kind of rule or things, then we might we need to contact to
Hmm.
Chinese localization team. There are many maintainers in Chinese localization team, and they have willing to uh, accept this kind of policy if we decide it is right way.
Hmm.
Then we need to get some consensus. It is a big thing uh, for the Chinese localization team because they are doing very good.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, I
it
don't want
will
to
be,
be disruptive to any team's active
yeah,
policies in a way that would kind of slow down their progress or um,
yeah.
whatever.
So
I'm also curious how frequently this comes up. I mean, there's a couple of examples throughout the thread as well, so there's probably pretty frequently, but I'm wondering how I don't have the real numbers on how frequently this comes up. If it's like
and
twice a year, or is it like once a month? Like what's if we are ignoring things because it's kind of a pain to get it changed across each locals, like, you know what I mean? I don't have the real numbers on how frequently it happens, although it is a pain point when it does happen, even though it's once, so.
yeah, another way is we maybe we can give some guide that for the contributors who are updating English document
Hmm.
or English section, they don't need to update uh, uh, localized document.
Hmm.
Maybe it is also one way so that the localization contributors or the each team members can update in their own way.
Hmm.
Currently, if we just, uh, for instance, if we try to update uh, the outside link, reference link in
Hmm.
English document, then we are very used to search and replace. So
Hmm.
if we use search, then there will be many uh, localized document can be
Hmm.
searched, and we have instinct to update, replace them, and
Yeah.
just put in one PR. Then many reviewers will mention that PR should be separated and contributor will separate. That's the reason why we need those kind of very similar but many PRs.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, interesting. This agenda is not filled with any easy questions to answer. They're all real hard topics that
Yeah,
require a lot of thought.
it is not easy. So
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I guess maybe um for next steps for this would be trying to get some eyes on it and some thoughts from the other teams on how disruptive this would be from a perspective of their workflow and if they had any issues, and then trying to come up with some more set guidelines of when we would like what this policy would look like and when it would apply. Um, yeah, and then I'm not sure how, like I said, it would be a change in the reviewing process because most people have been historically said to break up PRs that are for multiple languages. I don't know if we can we merge? Is that like a merge rule? You can't merge things into multiple languages at once. I think it's not. I don't think it's quite a merge rule, but I think the reviewers won't approve it if it has multiple languages. I don't know.
yeah, I have some experience in PRs
Hmm.
that merged by SIG maintainers not getting approval from individual
Okay.
localization owners. If that one is related with the site configuration itself or owner files, uh, since those files are not actually related with localization itself, with
Hmm.
just site configuration. In the case, we made some lazy consensus rule, and after
Hmm.
that, yeah, I requested it to some Sigdos maintainers so that that PRs can be merged.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Um, Anything else you wanted to talk about for this topic? I feel like we kind of move on.
So maybe we need some kind of small progress or
Okay.
step for this item. Maybe we can apply this rule for um, updating link address. It definitely not related with the localization itself, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely got to be only for things uh that aren't really text on the page, because that would need to be coming from somebody who actually has experience in all the languages, and I don't think we have somebody who is able to translate all the words into each language. So it'd be just site updates, um,
Yeah,
or like yeah, something non-content related.
yeah. So we mentioned about this. So maybe I can ask it to Chinese localization team.
Hmm.
This one can be acceptable for the aspect of Chinese localization team. Then that can be starting point and small progress.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I think that's some good next steps. It's unfortunately a kind of a larger discussion. It's not quite as easy to just say, we're going to do this now, because we have to kind of get some consensus. Um, um, but if they might be the most, I'm not sure. We'd have to check around. So maybe we could just sort of make another post to see if people had opinions in the localization channels, and then specifically ask the Chinese localization team if they have thoughts, because they're the policy that we know is the most restrictive in the way of making this change. And then we can kind of get their feedback and see if they have any advice or thoughts on how they'd like to see this rule apply, because I'm sure that they've hit this as a pain point themselves. Um, so okay. So those are some next steps. Um, and then the next item is about kind localization. Um, and I think Tim Bannister had also mentioned some other project that was looking to start a Chinese localization as well in the Slack project. So, um, this has been on our agenda, I think, it's come up a couple of times. I think, um, I don't remember what our thoughts were. I think it's more that they we'd like to keep it consolidated within SIGDocs, I believe. But we don't necessarily have the bandwidth to help do that. So I'm not sure if you had any more follow-up on Kohei's comment here about the other
Yeah,
groups starting up a localization.
no, I think it is up to the team.
Mm-hmm.
The team and contributors are willing to help other SIG or uh, other projects in Shenzhen. I think it is up to the team's core, and maybe I'm not sure we have to uh, broad the localization activity to uh, across all the project within Kubernetes or cloud native computing foundation. Uh, these days we are living in LLM generative AI world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. Maybe the effort, localization effort itself can be changed one day, and people are keep using the translators. So maybe we can it would better to uh, try to uh, build our own way uh, for localization, adopting some generative AI technologies inside us. Maybe this time.
Yeah, I don't want to be, yeah, for sure. I don't want to be blocking people's will, like desire to do localization. I'm just not sure, um, um, what policies to share and what sort of, feeling the rest of SIGDocs has about introducing localizations, um, workflows into other parts of the project. I think, um, I'd like to say people should just, be able to do that, but I also want to make sure that there's like a certain standard applied, um, and that there's sort of an understanding of what it takes to keep up a localization and then what tools they are using and how it's being sort of maintained in a way that adheres to whatever our guidelines are, or like the CNCF code of conduct and a lot of the other issues that we've run into for maintaining localizations using
Mhm.
like machine translators or um, whatever people want to use, making sure that they are adhering to the guidelines set forth from the CNCF and the rest of the Kubernetes community. And I don't remember off the top of my head what those were. Um, but I know from ourselves, if individual contributors from our communities are able to help do this, that's awesome. I think from the perspective of SIGDocs and our sub-project, we probably don't necessarily have the bandwidth to take on also implementing all of this stuff across uh
Yeah,
the whole entire community. It would be kind of like we can help provide advice and what we have and what works for us, or whatever, or pain points or whatever. But if people want to start up those groups, it would have to be something that they'd be able to self manage and like populate with with willing contributors. So
yeah. And yeah, I think the reason why some other states worry about some starting a localization of their document or
Mhm.
project is that they are actually seeing some difficulties in localization in SIGDocs
Mhm.
uh, because maybe they think uh, maintaining localization team contribution and content are very, very hard. if they see the effort within the SIG. But I think reason why SIG are having difficulty in some maintaining localization content is that we have lots of content.
Yeah, that's true.
We have more than 150, 1,500 documents, and they are quite long technical documents. So it is very natural. It should be hard. So
That's a good point. That some of these doc
yeah,
sets and the dashboard will be a lot smaller maintenance burden to upkeep, because they have a
yeah.
smaller set of documentation to maintain.
In cloud native glossary
Mm-hmm.
project, there are also there are many localization teams. I brought them actually, and in that glossary, maintaining localization teams and outdated content are not that difficult
Mm-hmm.
because in glossary project there are short definition document less
Mm-hmm.
than 50 and 50 documents, so it cannot be compared with contents in Kubernetes
Mm-hmm.
website.
Okay. That's a good point. Is there any action item really for this other than just sort of
Yeah, I think we don't have action item for this because the Slack message from Quay is quite long, and
Mhm.
we didn't make discussion in the inquiry, and it is just share the voice from Quay, and then I would like to see actual perspective of members in localization of project.
Mhm. Okay. Again, no easy no easy quick questions. They're all very deep, change tons of policies sort of things. Um that's sort of the end of the agenda, except for two kind of reminder items if folks have any interest in contributing to Farsi or the Telugu language. We've had folks in the
Hello,
community.
hello.
Okay, yes, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Um, uh, if folks are interested, we've had some interest within the community for people to start up or continue localization efforts there. So they can reach out in the SIGDocs localization channel, and we can direct them if they are interested. And we have a few action items for ourselves to try to continue and having a little bit more consensus around these conversations. And hopefully other folks in the community will have time to get back to us. We stopped sharing. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss today? Thank you for keeping track of all these conversations and really thinking deeply about what the best thing is for the community. I very much appreciate it, and I know everyone else in the broader community also appreciates it. So thank you. But yeah, do you have anything else you wanted to chat about?
No,
No. Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
that's all.
Okay, cool. Well, then I guess that's the end of our meeting. We could stop recording. Are we recording? Oh, we are recording. Okay. So you can stop the
Yeah.
recording.